I want to run you through on how you can access land in Zambia, buy land in Zambia, and be able to ownership to land through a title deed. I want to make mention of the fact that currently in Zambia we have two tenure systems of land. We have what we call the customary tenure system and the statutory tenure system. The customary tenure system of land is literally land that is owned by our traditional leaders dotted around the country. This is land that is not on title deed and not private property in nature. In order for you to get that piece of land, the process starts with our traditional leaders, and you need to run through the process of converting that land from customary to statutory land. What that therefore means is that for you to be able to convert that customary to statutory land, you go through a tedious process, which we may not discuss today because it's not a process that I would encourage you as a non-Zambian to commence. Allow me therefore to dive into the next tenure of land, which is the statutory tenure. Statutory tenure is land that is already on title deed, and these parcels of land could be owned by individual owners. These parcels of land could be owned by government, or as it were, could be owned by companies. And these individuals, companies, or government may wish to sell these properties to anyone wanting to buy. It could be to a local Zambian or could be to a non-Zambian. Now, for you as a non-Zambian, when you want to acquire land in Zambia, there are two processes that you need to follow, because by law, there are two ways in which a non-Zambian can have access to land in Zambia. The first process is by a non-Zambian coming into Zambia, partnering with a local Zambian, a partnership in form of incorporating a company, where a Zambian in this particular case owns 75% shares in the company that we have incorporated in Zambia. You as a non-Zambian, you will be required by law to own 25%. In that case, you can proceed to buy that piece of land, and the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources will proceed to change ownership from the previous owner to the current owner. So that's the process, and that's the first process you need to follow. Incorporate a company in Zambia, partner with a Zambian. That company incorporation will require that a local Zambian owns 75% and you own 25%. In that way, you have clear access to land ownership in Zambia. The second option is where you get to involve the Zambia Development Agency. The Zambia Development Agency is a government department whose mandate literally is promoting foreign direct investments into Zambia. And the process therefore goes that when you want to own land through the Zambia Development Agency, you again incorporate a company. In this case, you may not need a Zambian to be part of that company which is incorporated. You can incorporate a company or register a company in Zambia which is 100% owned by non-Zambians, because the law allows for that. Once you incorporate that company, you now go to the Zambia Development Agency to be issued with a Zambia Development Agency certificate of registration. That certificate by law allows you as a non-Zambian to own land in Zambia. Now, what are the qualifications for you to be able to get the Zambia Development Agency certificate? The first qualification is that you must pledge what you intend to invest in Zambia by way of money. In this case, the law stipulates that you need to make a pledge of about $1 million investment in 5 to 10 years from the time you are issued with that particular investment. Remember, the $1 million is not money sitting on your bank account in Zambia, but it's a pledge that you are saying in the next 5 to 10 years, I'm going to invest approximately $1 million in Zambia. However, the law demands that before issuance of that particular certificate, you need to open a bank account in Zambia and be able to deposit or transfer some money from outside the country onto that account, and the amount should be sufficient. It could be $100,000 or more, $50,000 to $100,000 or more on that account. However, you will equally be required to provide further proof of finance from where you are coming from the country you are originating from. It could be that you are running businesses in that particular company and you have audited financials. You will be required to present those audited financials. Or it could be that you have a bank account where you are coming from. You can also provide that bank account just to back up your application for a ZDA certificate of registration. Of course, there are other processes that you need to do in terms of submitting to the ZDA, such as business plans and other documents that you need to put in place, which we'll be able to discuss in the next presentation. But that information put together will allow the Zambia Development Agency to issue to you what we call the ZDA or Zambia Development Agency Certificate of Registration. That process takes approximately a month or so in order for that document to be issued. Further, I would want also to quickly talk about the Zambia Immigration Department, because it is critical when you are coming into Zambia. They are the ones that make it easier for you to come and settle in Zambia. If you are going through the process of getting a ZDA certificate in order for you to purchase land in Zambia, let me mention that there are two types of permits that are issued by the Zambia Immigration Department. In other words, you could be visiting Zambia to come and work here in a company that is already resident or operating in Zambia, in which case you will be allowed to be on a work permit, because the immigration issues two types of permits when it comes to our issue of discussion today. That is the work permit or investor permit. The work permit is a permit issued to an expatriate coming from anywhere around the world to come and work in Zambia. However, before that permit is issued, the law demands that this particular individual applying for that particular permit must possess a skill or expertise that is not readily available on the Zambian market. Because all skills that are available on the Zambian market, the law demands that such opportunities of employment are given to the local people. So you must have a skill that is not readily available in Zambia, and in that way, it will be easier for the immigration department to issue with a work permit. The second permit is what we call the investor permit. This is a permit of an individual or individuals coming to Zambia, and they are coming here to start a business. With the investor permit, the people that are coming or the individual coming to start a business do not need to have any expertise at all or any skills at all. However, they need to prove that they have brought into Zambia a minimum of $250,000 resident on the Zambian bank account. That would be a major requirement that you need to submit among many other documents that need to be supplied or submitted to the Zambia Immigration Department. One major document will be a bank printout indicating that you've transferred from outside an amount of money totaling $250,000. Now, let me make mention there that as you plan to come and settle in Zambia, as you plan to come and do business in Zambia, it is important from the onset that you open up a bank account in Zambia, so that every single money that you are sending or remitting to Zambia is going through your bank account in Zambia. The reason for that is when it comes to get that permit, the investor permit, the immigration department are not per se interested in seeing the actual amount of $250,000 sitting on your bank account. Your bank account could have even zero balance, but they are interested in seeing the amounts that have been transferred from outside the country into Zambia. So before the issuance of the investor permit, you can be bringing money in Zambia and you proceed to invest. You can proceed to buy land. You can proceed to invest into whatever you want to invest into. When it comes to get the investor permit and the immigration department demands for a bank statement from you, they will be able to run through and see how much money that you brought into the country. And they will proceed to issue with an investor permit. So these are the processes that you need to follow if you want to come and settle in Zambia and acquire land in Zambia. In our next presentation, we will quickly look at other avenues through which you as a non-Zambian will be able to acquire land in Zambia. For now, it's thank you for listening, and we talk next as we look at other alternatives of acquiring land in Zambia.